Good communication is one thing that can change your life in days or weeks. But let's be honest, you cannot talk, you cannot actually communicate how you want. You keep making these weird sentences, these weird patterns. Your body language is horrible. All these things are horrible, and you know that. You visualize yourself talking like this confident guy, but when shit hits the fan, you start talking like a little girl. So we gotta fix this shit, all right? And I'm gonna tell you 3 ways on how to fix it and how it worked for me. You see, when I was a kid, right? So 7-year-old, 8-year-old, like up until 18, I was a very bad talker, like very bad at communicating. My communication skills were not just bad, they were horrendous, horrible. I had this stutter problem. You might hear it now too, of course, because it's a thing that stayed with me, but I improved on it. So I stuttered so badly, so horrible. It ruined all my friendships. Like, I didn't even have friends. So it screwed me over to the point that made me change, right? So I had all these problems. Nobody wanted to be friends with me. They thought I was some kind of retard, which I'll be honest, it kind of looked like a bit retarded. But anyway, up until 18, I eventually left the school, right? I got done with school and I joined sales because I was kind of scared being around people. I don't know what it was, but I just broke the ice and I just entered sales. When I entered sales, what happened is I was in direct sales, so I had to like approach people in real time. And that where broke me, right? That's where it broke my old character. That's where it broke my fear, which allowed me to talk more fluently, right? So, number 1, stop using filling words, right? This is where I learned in sales. Stop using unnecessary words that mess up the conversation, like and like all these words make the conversation longer because you might not know what to say. That's why you say these words to think a little bit longer. But quite frankly, the better option is simply silence. If you don't know what to say, if you're a bit lost in your head when you're saying something, just like in this video, when I don't know something, I don't start making shit up and start saying bullshit. I just silence, right? I'm just in silence, trying to think the best next thing that I can say. And filling words make your conversation, especially in professional environments. If you keep making these filling words, what do you think? What do you think will happen if you keep using these filling words? What will happen is it will make it unprofessional. You gotta sound fluent. You gotta sound well articulated. If you use these filling words, you will not sound that professional. And this is where it brings us to number 2. Listen before you talk. Listen before you talk. When you listen, you know what they're talking about, right? You don't think about what you're gonna say if the person hasn't finished talking. Think about nothing. Just listen to the person you're talking to. Listen to what that person has to say. And after the person says it, that's where you start thinking about, all right, this person said this. How can I make the best answer? How can I create the best answer? Of course, don't take 10 minutes to come up with the answer. Just think a little bit after the person is done talking, right? And this is where a lot of people go wrong. People talk on top of each other. So, like, it's so frequent nowadays. It's so frequent. I keep hearing people talking on one another. They keep interrupting others. When you watch these debating videos, nobody actually shuts their mouth. Everyone is talking, like, everyone is interrupting each other. Everyone is interrupting each other. It's hilarious and it's so unprofessional. So if you really want to give the best answers and be respected, you gotta first understand what the person is talking about. Number 3, actually understand what you're talking about. When you look around, people don't understand what they're talking about. They don't know what the hell they're saying. Of course, You gotta know, all right, how did I end up in this situation? You gotta know, all right, I'm here because of this. You gotta know what you're talking about. And this is the hard part, right? If you're in a business meeting, you gotta understand the product. You gotta know, all right, I gotta talk about this, but you gotta analyze it before you talk. That's how you're gonna make the conversations look professional. That's how you're gonna make the conversations interesting because you know a lot. You know what to talk about. You're not weird. And look, and this is a bonus, right? Don't be a creep, right? Don't start making these weird body postures. When I was talking, I did like all these weird hand gestures that don't align with what I'm saying. All like so weird, so weird. I can't even put it to words how weird it was. Like it was so awkward and cringe. If you talk, right? If you're just talking to me, right? I'm talking to you. Let's not use these weird body languages. Just look me straight to the eyes and say what you have to say. That's how you talk to people. Don't have all these weird tactics. Just keep it simple. Look them in the eye, know what the hell you're talking about, and talk after they're finished talking.